92.3 The Fan. Breaking news.
Adam Schefter, ESPN, sources the Cleveland Browns are hiring former Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken as their next head coach. Adam Schefter, Todd Monken, the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns, according to sources.
All right, there you have it. Breaking news right here at 92.3 The Fan. We get you the news when it's out there, and Todd Monken is now, according to Adam Schefter, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Jeff Phelps, your reaction.
Why Monken over Jim Schwartz? That's all I have. Monken could end up being a really good head coach. Who knows? But I really want to hear why. Really want to hear why. No NFL head coaching experience. He's 59 years old. 3 years as head coach at Southern Miss. 1 year as offensive coordinator here in Cleveland. It went so well, Freddie Kitchens got fired.
NFL Network has it as well, multiple reports, Todd Monken, head coach.
I'm just curious. And I'm not saying Jim Schwartz would have been a better hire. We don't know. Let's find out. Maybe Todd's a guy who's been waiting for this opportunity his whole life and is just going to kick some butt. Maybe. But, boy, why not Jim Schwartz over Todd Monken? I do not.
Now, we also need to find out, maybe if Jim Schwartz is still staying, that might be one of the reasons why. Again, breaking news, Todd Monken, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, multiple sources now reporting that. A little bit more background on Monken. He started off at Grand Valley State as a graduate assistant. He moved on to Notre Dame back in 91, 92, another grad assistant. Entered the Mid-American Conference with defensive backs, wide receivers at Eastern Michigan.
Up on the gray field.
Yep, and then he also was the offensive coordinator.
Wasn't gray then.
Had wide receivers there as well in 88, 89. He moved from Eastern Michigan to Louisiana Tech, running back and wide receivers, all offense in his background. Louisiana Tech moved up to wide receiver, then Oklahoma State from 2002 to 2004, LSU in 05 and 06. Then he made the jump to the NFL with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 07, stayed there through 2010, where he was the wide receivers coach, went back to Oklahoma State after that, went back as offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Made the move over to Southern Miss after that. It's a heavy resume. Then came back to the NFL in 2016, where he was with Tampa Bay as the offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach. Then just straight out offensive coordinator in 2018. 2019, as you remember, he was here with the Cleveland Browns as the OC. Left, went to Georgia after that, where he was the OC and quarterbacks coach, and just spent his most recent time with the Baltimore Ravens as their offensive coordinator from 23 until last year. That is the resume of your new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Todd Monken.
Truly veteran coach, been around, has had success. Just a curious hire to me, Andy. Doesn't mean it can't be a really good hire, but to me, Shieldhouse was the most intriguing of the three finalists, apparently. And I wonder what Jim Schwartz did to not get this job. Why Monken over Schwartz? To me, that's a question that deserves an answer.
Well, we'll be asking folks throughout today. Chris Rose is going to join us coming up in the next hour at 11:20. Chris Easterling from the Akron Beacon Journal at 12. Again, breaking news just happened in case you weren't listening over the last few moments. Todd Monken, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, and it has been sourced by multiple sources now, I guess is the best way to put it out there. And the other thing, too, is that his cousin, Jeff Monken, is the head coach at Army. And his other brother, his younger brother, Ted, is also a football coach. He's coached around, done some high school coaching as well. So it is a family of football.
Can I be
when you talk about the Monkens, here come the Monken jokes.
Can I be the first to say it?
Go ahead.
If this offense doesn't work, why are they monkening around with it?
4 minutes for the first dad joke as the new head coach. Dan, what do we have for background on his ability to hold a press conference? How do we feel about him in press conferences?
He did them for 3 years at Southern Miss. Had to do one a week in Baltimore.
Had to do him while he was here.
Had to do him when he was here.
Yeah.
I want to see what this offense looks like. I want to see if it looks like something that we've seen before with Lamar Jackson at the helm or if it's completely overworked. I want to see what this thing goes. It's going to be a fascinating hire as an experienced coach who has seen a lot of football and a lot of different ideas. I want to see what this thing looks like. That's what I want to see. I could honestly care less about family and all that kind of good stuff. I just want to see what this offense looks like.
What about his horses?
I hope they take the finish line in first.
It's done well for Jason Worth.
When he was here as offensive coordinator in 2019, Freddie was the head coach. Browns went 6-10. Baker Mayfield was the quarterback. Baker had 22 touchdown passes and 21 interceptions. Baker was okay. He had Nick Chubb. He had Jarvis Landry. He had Odell Beckham. He had Kareem Hunt. He had the crew we love, basically.
He had those guys. We'll see what happens.
Odell had a 1,000-yard season.
Are you
so
excited
did
that he's
Jarvis.
head coach? I mean, is this?
No.
I don't know that this sells tickets, but at least you know you have somebody
Andy,
with experience to be the head coach.
Not one of the three finalists would be, to me, an exciting hire. Doesn't mean they're bad hires. Doesn't mean it's a bad hire at all. But Jim Schwartz wouldn't have excited me. I'd have thought, all right, I get it. Defensive coordinator, really pretty solid here. Shieldhouse, okay, you're trying to take the big swing and a hit. Trying to get that guy. Okay, I get it. Monken, you're hoping a veteran offensive leader can put some life into this offense. But that's what you had with Stefanski. Until you get Todd Monken some players, he's not going to fare any better than Kevin did.
It was interesting. Mary Kay Cabot, when we talked to her yesterday, she'll be on the morning show tomorrow, said, I don't rule out Todd Monken. I've been talking about him for weeks. She said viable candidate.
Gaining steam.
And now here it is. It comes to fruition today. Todd Monken, again, just reported by multiple sources, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Todd Monken returns to Cleveland after being the offensive coordinator back here in 2019. Breaking news right here, 92.3 The Fan. Multiple reports. Todd Monken, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. The next question, I think, is what's going to happen to Jim Schwartz. And let's see if we can get an answer on that from our Browns beat reporter. He is Daryl Ryder. And
he's brought to us by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Hey, Daryl, how are you?
I'm here.
Oh, you are? Good. I wanted to make sure you were there. Are you excited?
I'm stunned.
We have a new head coach. Okay, you're stunned. Why are you stunned?
I'm just beyond stunned.
Because?
This is not who I thought they'd hire. A guy who openly admitted that he did not do a good enough job with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. A guy who talked about what a mess the Browns were in 2019. And they're bringing him back to be the head coach. Yeah, good luck with that.
Doesn't mean he won't be successful, Daryl. I think we all have to understand.
I think we all know how this movie ends, Jeff.
Well,
I give him 2 years.
Maybe, Daryl.
The guy hasn't had the job officially yet, and you're already giving him 2 years.
Well, let's not.
Yep.
Seriously, and let's be educated adults here. Guy'll come in. We'll see what he does. That said, why Monken over Jim Schwartz?
I have no idea.
To me, that's a huge question, Daryl.
I have no idea. I'm stunned. I am absolutely stunned. I thought this was a Shieldhouse versus Schwartz battle royale. Who was going to win, Jimmy or Andrew Berry? And they went with Todd Monken. I'm flabbergasted.
Do you think Shieldhouse turned it down?
That I don't know.
Jeremy Fowler
it's clear that somebody was not comfortable turning the car keys over to Nate Shieldhouse.
Yeah, Jeremy Fowler just reported about a minute ago. He just said the Browns notified Rams assistant Nate Shieldhouse this morning that they were going in a different direction. He plans to stay with the Rams and will be a factor in the next cycle. For sure he will. It's another year, too. Maybe I don't know if they give him a chance to.
Oh, maybe they'll get to interview him again next January.
Wow.
So you're pretty down on this hire.
I'm stunned. I can't believe it.
Does Schwartz stay?
I think that's a good question and here's the other thing, right? What if things go south this year, right? And then Jim Schwartz is sitting there saying, I don't know, maybe you should have had me be the head coach.
Yep.
Like that. Obviously that's the next thing to watch. I mean, it was very clear throughout this process that ownership wanted Jim Schwartz to remain in the building. They had a tremendous amount of respect for the work that he has done as defensive coordinator in these last 3 years. They certainly built around him on that side of the ball, and they would like to maintain continuity there. But, this is now twice he's interviewed for the Browns head coaching job, 2 different cycles, I should say. He was a finalist this time around. I don't know that he was a finalist when he interviewed previously. But I do think this sets up all kinds of potential for internal conflict if he does stay and things are not going well for this football team this fall, which, by the way, things probably are not going to go well. We don't know what the quarterback situation is. We've talked extensively about all the changes that have to be made on the offensive side of things. And they hired a guy who has openly admitted he didn't do a good job with Lamar Jackson, a 2-time NFL MVP. Okay? And he's now coming here to work with Shedeur Sanders and whoever else they're going to have in that room. I mean, this is a quote from the Baltimore Ravens team website. This is state in-house media. Okay?
This is from the end of the season, right?
Yes. Quote, I didn't coach Lamar well enough. I didn't have as good of a relationship as I could have. Red flag.
Yeah.
I didn't do the things we needed to do this year to win enough games to give ourselves a chance. Red flag. I believe that Lamar and I, to me, had a good relationship. Could it have been better? Of course. Red flag. Lamar and I had never had an issue. I don't know where that comes from. Red flag. And now he's your head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Again, I'm sure this is going to go swimmingly here.
First 2 years that he was back in Baltimore, Daryl, they were really good. And this year, John Harbaugh gets bounced.
Right.
It's somewhat fascinating here. Did you think at any point that they narrowed it down to these 3 guys and thought, wait a minute, we don't like any of these, we're gonna keep going here, maybe interview more guys?
Maybe they canceled themselves out with the whole Schillhouse versus Schwartz thing and just said, you know what? Let's just hire Todd Monken. He's the third guy in the room. I was convinced, and I posted this morning, I was convinced that the reason they were quote unquote keeping Monken in the race here was just to kind of give cover so that you didn't have the appearance of, a conflict between ownership and the top football executive, right? You could say, hey, no, we're choosing between 3 guys here, and they picked the third wheel. So, yeah, I'm. You know what? I have to give the Browns their props. It is very hard to do things that leave me flabbergasted when it comes to this franchise because they have done it so often. It's like the little boy that cries wolf, right? I did not expect this. I am absolutely flabbergasted that they have hired Todd Monken to be the head coach of this football team now. And I think it's a bridge hire. I really do. This is definitely not a long-term hire. I do not see Todd Monken here roaming the sidelines when they open that dome in Brook Park.
Do you think that John Harbaugh would have taken him on as the OC there?
Yeah, I think that's where he's gone. He would have gone had he not been hired here. So and now obviously Harbaugh can move along with his process because the Browns, quite frankly, were holding up what Harbaugh was trying to do there in New York as far as putting the offensive side of the staff together. So now Monken's going to be the head coach here instead of going there to be their offensive coordinator. So now Harbaugh's going to go in a different direction. And both young guys in Udinski and Schillhouse, who I really thought it was going to be one of those 2 guys because they fit Andrew Berry's profile. The thing that I'm struggling with right now, I don't know how Todd Monken fits Andrew Berry's profile.
So are you wondering who actually made the hire then?
Oh, I know who made the hire. It wasn't Andrew Berry. It's the owner, right? I mean, the owner makes the final decision.
Hard to
Barry
argue.
can make
Hard to argue.
Barry can make all the recommendations he wants, but it's Jimmy Haslam's decision. Or I should say Haslam Sports Group. It's that, their committee. It's their decision, right? But do you really think that Andrew Barry went through this process thinking, yeah, Todd, I'm looking for a young, bright, innovative, offensive mind, and, I give you Todd Monken. Does that fit Andrew Barry's profile to you guys? Absolutely not.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Again, Daryl, I do think we all need to be open-minded. Let's see what the guy can do. Let's see what he can do here. But to me, it's an odd hire at a critical time for the organization, and I do really want to know why not Jim Schwartz if you were going to hire Monken. I could get it if you're going to hire Shieldhouse.
And especially if you want to keep Jim Schwartz, right?
Well, yeah. If you're going to keep him, what would be more appealing to Jim? All right, look, we're going for the boy wonder, and we're hoping we get McVay. Do you understand? We'd like to keep you around. And, okay, you could sell that to him. I don't know how you can sell. We're bringing in a guy your age who has your resume on the other side of the ball, but without the head coaching experience. You're going to stick around, right?
I know.
How about more cash?
Andy, he can go get cash.
Could he, Daryl? If Hasslam, what if we find out when this is said and done, he's the assistant head coach and they give him more cash?
It's still a slap in the face, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm telling you, I covering this team as long as I have and knowing how that building operates, I see bad things on the horizon the moment things start going south. Because you got a guy that's interviewed for the job twice, and he's going to look at that and just be like, you could have hired me.
If he sticks around.
How do you think it's going to play with Shedeur? How's it going to play with Gabriel?
How's it going to play with the whole
Watson?
How's it going to play with everybody on defense who sings the praises of Jim Schwartz?
I mean, he struggled to make it work with Lamar Jackson, right? And look at Lamar's resume. Now
and Derrick Henry in the backfield.
Now, the one thing with like Monken's reputation is he's a bit of a chameleon from an offensive standpoint. Like he's not pigeonholed into like one system. You know what I'm saying? But also at the same time, I kind of feel like maybe that's kind of a negative because he doesn't necessarily have an identity, right? So I can't believe they went this route. I really can't. They went Todd Monken to be the next head coach. I mean. Wish him well. Wish him all the success in the world. I'm not confident one iota. I thought for sure that Andrew Barry was going to go young offensive mind with this search, not somebody that struggled to make it work with Lamar Jackson. Because, by the way, the Browns don't have a Lamar Jackson.
When they let go of Kevin Stefanski, do you think they had a leading candidate in their mind? And do you think they ever thought it would end up being Todd Monken when they let go of Kevin?
Oh, I'm sure they're going to try and tell us that Monken was their guy all along, right? Because
that's what you'll hear.
And you'll also hear that Mary Kay said that to us yesterday, that she's been writing about him for weeks.
Yeah. So, I'm sure we'll hear some version of that when he's introduced. But it's going to be interesting to see now how this impacts the quarterback room, right? I mean, the other narrative we have out there now, we got to say that Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowl quarterback, right? I mean, that's factually correct. He's going to be at the Pro Bowl games next week. Did he play like a Pro Bowler? No, but the fact of the matter is he's going to be right. I mean, this whole thing reeks of a big sloppy mess waiting to happen to me. It really does.
Do you really think that's the way Jimmy Haslam's approaching this, though? I mean, I hear what you're saying. But I also think, first of all, that Hasslam or Barry is going to step out on the podium and say, this is the guy we wanted right from the beginning, right? No one's questioning that.
Well, you know what? I don't think. To be fair, I do think that they went into the search with a very open mind, right? They interviewed 11 candidates. I think they had second interviews with 6 or 7 of those candidates. Okay. So they did cast the proverbial wide net that we always hear about. They did speak to a variety of candidates. They tried to speak to some others that weren't maybe necessarily as interested in the Browns. Yes, they had a couple of guys pull out of interviews, but that's because they had opportunities elsewhere, and there is nothing wrong with that. But man, alive, I'm shocked. I mean, and here I will say that maybe the thing that Monken had most going for him, we remember like what just a complete catastrophe that 2019 season was under Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah.
And I do remember that Monken was like a kind of a steadying voice behind the scenes amidst all that chaos. And maybe that is something that clearly ownership and AB and everyone else in the room remembered and said, hey, you know what? Right now we're in a bit of a transition. Yeah, we have a great defense, but we have zero identity offensively. We don't have much to work with offensively. This is a guy who has worked in this building. He knows us. We know him. He was a very steadying voice during a turbulent time. And, maybe he can kind of just get us through the next couple of years until we really get to a point where a Udinski or a Shieldhouse is really ready to take the reins of an NFL franchise and be that proverbial bridge type of coach, because I think that's what this is. They're going to say, hey, we're all in on Todd Monken, et cetera, but I felt this way if they hired Jim Schwartz as well. I want to be very clear.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're describing Jim.
Yeah, like
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is there any chance that he used Grammarly or Chat GPT for his essay that he had to write?
They didn't have to write essays.
I know.
Guys.
I wanted you to say that because you were the one that kind of cleared the air on that. But I figured I might as well have some fun with it.
I mean, they had to listen. They had to do what every job applicant does, right? Answer, fill out a questionnaire and do a little do a personality test and things like that. Listen. I'm shocked by this hire, but I kind of have to stick up for the Browns in regards to, maybe them having these candidates go through such an extensive process when. I think this is the
sixth.
They
wanted to make sure they hired the right guy.
Is this the sixth one for the Haslams to hire or seventh? I've lost count at this point.
Where do you start? You start with
Chud.
You start with Chud,
and then
they went to Pettin. Then they went to Hugh. Then they we won't count the interim stuff.
Then
they
Greg.
went to
Greg Williams doesn't count?
No, Greg doesn't count because he's
the only guy with a winning record.
I know.
Then you got Freddie.
Then you go Fred.
Then Kevin.
Kevin. So, yeah, I mean, it's...
1 and done, 2 and 3.
Hennigan's holding
Kevin,
up
right?
6 fingers.
Yeah, so there you go.
All right, Daryl, we got to go. Thank you. We appreciate your opinion right away. And
we'll see when the intro presser is. It's going to be a busy 24 hours. We got LeBron in town tonight, and there's a lot of smoke around him right now with the potential return to the Cavs. And then at some point, the Guardians are going to announce Jose Ramirez is, getting a massive contract.
Today would be a bad day to do that, though, wouldn't it?
It'd be a bad day.
So would tomorrow, but we'll see what ultimately happens.
All right, Daryl Ryder, our Browns beat reporter, outstanding job, and glad to get your opinion on here first on the air. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, D.
Later, guys. Have a drink on me.
Brought to us by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.